2025 marks the 5th Champions bundle we've seen in Valorant, but which one is the best? I could only fit the first 4 on a poll and 2024 was barely the winner, so let's throw in the new bundle and compare all the unique finishes, kill sounds and knives to come to a definitive ranking on all of these bundles. This is going to be a long one and we'll go one category at a time, showcasing and then ranking each bundle before combining all the lists at the end. So with that in mind, let's kick things off with the kill sounds, which in my opinion is the most important part of any skin.
Aw, thought you'd try harder. Yikes, that sucks. There you are, you little shit. Aw, thought you'd try harder. There you are.
Starting at the bottom, out of all those, I reckon 2023 stands out the least, and while I can hear that slight electronic or even synthy feel to it, it's still too close to default for my liking. That's the only one I'm indifferent to or even don't like. All of the rest I'm a fan of, but 2022 is the next weakest. It's definitely not bad and sort of reminds me of Spectrum, I just prefer the others more. Like the 2024 Phantom almost feels like an upgraded version of that, then the 2025 Vandal sounds so crisp, which I'm personally a big fan of, but ultimately 2021 is going to take the cake strictly for kill sounds. It's absolutely the highlight of the skin, and those deeper, more impactful sounding kills always resonate with me the most, and I think that's true for a lot of people. Now let's focus just on the shooting sound effects with no kills involved. I still think it's crazy that the original Champions Vandal does not even have any shooting sound effects beyond the default. People will try and defend this skin by saying it's not that important or it doesn't matter, but there's literally nothing here, so it has to be dead last. 2022 and 2023 are pretty similarly mid in my opinion, not changing it up enough and haven't really aged well over time. 2024 is a little bit of a step up from those, but then I think 2025 is a tier above the rest. A lot of people are saying it's too similar to EXO, but I personally love that skin, just not the price it was at. Similar to the kill sounds, the shooting here is really crisp, and I love how it feels in game. That brings us to another long segment, the finishes. Probably the most iconic part of all the champion skins. As cool as all of those finishes are, I think it's important to remember that in a real game, you're never going to get to stand under it for that long, so with that in mind, the more immediate interaction you get out of the 2024 and 2025 finishes is pretty appealing. Still, even with that in mind, those two don't live up to the same grandeur and scale of the original ones. Even if you don't get to interact with it for very long, the 2023 finisher is emotional and there's really nothing else like it. Then 2021 feels insane, very grand scale, you know, giant brimstone up there, while 2022 is just a cheap knockoff of that. I love all the champions finishes, and even the worst here would be better than most of the others in the game, but 2025 just doesn't hit like the rest do. A big part of those finishes is the champions anthem, so I think it's only fair to rank all of those as well. The most you'll hear of them in game is through the inspect animation. There are only subtle differences in the physical animations themselves, although they do become a tad more interactive and animated over the years. I do want to say one cool feature 2025 has in the inspect is that the kill counter will instead count down the days until the grand finals of Champions 2025. Obviously that will become redundant after the tournament, but I still think it's a fun detail worth pointing out. As far as the anthems specifically go, honestly I think they've lost their identity a little bit over the years, shifting from really epic and grand to just what sounds popular, but I could be blinded by nostalgia there. I can understand they don't want to make this song just sound the same over and over again each year, but I think they got it perfect with Die For You, and it's more or less been downhill since. Maybe they'll grow on me, and I do actually like the 2024 one, so I'll bump that up a bit, but realistically this is the most subjective part of an already subjective video. Now talking about the visual design and starting from the bottom up, I don't think any of the champion skins look bad, they all have really good color schemes, but I do think the 2021 Vandal is the worst out of all of them. I felt bad putting it this low because I don't think it looks terrible, but it basically is just the default Vandal with champions written on it. One step above that, I put the 2022 Phantom. The base variant doesn't do anything too crazy for me and I know it upgrades, but I'll touch on that later. Right in the middle for looks is 2025. It is a little bit blocky and to put it simply, it's just not my favorite to look at. 2023 feels better put together and the LED screen sort of effect flowing across the skin is a nice touch. Finally though, I love the look of the 2024 Phantom. The purple really does it for me, and the spinning core in the middle looks great as well, even if it's similar to what we have in Ion or Chrono Void. There isn't really much to talk about for the animations of these skins, but I'll quickly point out that all 4 of the first champion skins use the default equip and reload, so I don't understand why so many people have an issue with 2025 using the EXO equip when it's beyond what we've had previously. Moving on though to the champion's aura, which is mostly just the golden outline on the skin, but I'll also include how the skin transforms or tracks your kills in general. So with that being said, I would actually rank all 5 of them like this, and it feels like they always go so much harder on the Phantoms compared to the Vandals. Obviously 2021 has no upgrading, just the outline glow, then 2023 is definitely better. I think the aura looks nicer with that purple glow as well, and of course the gun does slowly fill up and track your kills. Then I put 2024 in the middle because as much as I love the golden and cracked texture, there's hardly any build up to it and it's really all or nothing with this skin. Building off that is one of the things I like the most about the 2025 Vandal. Not only does the red aura look amazing when you're R-top fragging, the skin will always turn gold after you get a kill, and there's no set milestone you need to reach, making every kill feel rewarding. It also has a little kill counter on the side, which sounds really satisfying as it ticks up. For me though, and this one might come out of nowhere, but nothing really tops 2022. Even though the glow is basic, I think the red slowly filling up the gun looks incredible, then the subtle animation you can see in that texture looks really nice as well, and I just wish there were more skins like this. That finally brings us to the knives, and I think there is no debate about the 2023 kunai being terrible. If there is one thing we can all agree on here, regardless of your favorite rifle, is that the knife was a letdown for Champions tier. The equip animation with the trail is nice, but everything else is the default, and they even had the audacity to loop the default inspect animation as if they were doing something. Rant is over for that one, but I'm just making it clear the absolute chasm between 5th and 4th place, because I do really like all the other champions' knives. Having said that, I do rank the 2021 Karambit in 4th place, mostly because the other champions' knives feel like the best of their class, while for the Karambit, there are definitely better options out there. I'm trying not to fault it too much for being a product of its time, but there is nothing that jumps out and grabs me to put it any higher. That's why I can justify putting the 2024 blade above this, because blades are one of the few two-handed knives that work well for me in Valorant. Then they kitted it out with some new animations and again that sweet golden crack texture, so I'm happy putting it in 3rd place. One cool Easter egg with the 2024 knife that I think a lot of people forget, and I almost even forgot when making this video, is that you can get whatever gun body you want on it if you also have the 2024 Phantom equipped and put the gun body on that. That leaves us with 2 butterfly knives, and if you saw my comparison video, you know how this is going to go. 2022 is solid, and I adore how that knife looks when you completely max it out, plus that Easter egg with the trophy is awesome, and like I said earlier, I think Riot should do more skins like that, where you just have a perfectly complete skin you can use in game, it's great, but you get a bonus feature for performing well. Having said that, I still rank the new Champions Butterfly Knife as the best out of all of them. People say it only has the one new animation, but realistically it also has the additional right click and equips we've seen added over the years, and to me, all 3 of those animations are better than 2022's. Like I touched on earlier, the Champions aura for 2025 always feels rewarding, so this knife is honestly one of the best in the game. That covers pretty much every category I can think of, but before I reveal the overall rankings, let me know how you guys would place every Champions bundle. You've seen my thought process throughout this video, so it probably won't come as too much of a shock that I have the 2023 bundle as the worst overall. Don't get me wrong, I love the finisher and think the Vandal looks good, but the knife was an absolute travesty of what a champion's knife should be, and then between the mid kill and shooting sounds, the finisher doesn't do enough to save 2023 for me. In 4th place, I have the 2021 bundle, which based on the polls is probably controversial, but there just isn't enough to sell me here. Incredible kill sound? Yes. Amazing finisher? Absolutely. And a decent knife? Sure. But I will never get over the fact that this Vandal has no shooting sounds, and I think people are blinded by nostalgia when they consider the skin top tier. Right in the middle of the pack for me is 2022. I'm not the biggest fan of the Phantom on its own, but like I keep saying, the upgrades on this one really sell me, and then the butterfly knife is clean. That leaves me with the 2024 bundle in 2nd place actually. I think the Phantom is an improvement in almost all aspects over 2022, and then even though the knife isn't my favorite, the blade definitely isn't bad either. That of course leaves us with the 2025 collection as my best overall champions bundle, and I don't even think that's recency bias. When I sit here and compare all the different categories, sure I think 2023 has a better finisher, 2022 upgrades throughout the game better, and 2021 sounds nicer when getting kills, but in terms of the best well-rounded bang for your buck bundle, I think 2025 is pretty clearly ahead. I didn't really mention the flex so far since no other year had one to compare to, and I think it is frustrating that its inclusion led to a price increase. Personally, that isn't enough for it to be knocked off the top bundle spot, but it's still worth taking into account that this year's collection is like $5 more expensive than previous years. So that is my ranking of all 5 champions bundles in Valorant. I'm sure this won't be controversial at all and everyone will be nice in the comments, but I want to hear your rankings too, so let me know.